Hello and welcome guys, Death's Crowbar here with you today, and today we have another episode of Playing the Game. Today we're going to talk about alignment. Yes, alignment. That thing that most of you don't know what really is, because it's not in most games. Alignment, meaning essentially what your morals are. So, alignment is a difficult thing, and different DMs play it a little differently. Personally, as both a player and a guy who occasionally DMs, I prefer what I call fluid alignment, where if someone does something evil and their character is considered good, then they need to change their alignment to fit that. Maybe it becomes neutral, maybe it eventually becomes evil, but I don't think changing alignments is based solely off curses and items. There's a ton of different items and curses and various additions that can change what alignment you have, but I really don't think that that should be the only way your alignment gets changed. I think if your character changes over time, which it should, the alignment should change with the character. So let's talk about the basics. Matthew Koval has a really great video on this, personally. And it sounded like he's a bit more for what I'm for as well, with the kind of fluid alignment system that can change over time. Although I don't completely agree with some of what he said about what the alignment means, and you'll have to look at a few different things and kind of look at it yourself to kind of decide what you feel about it, or what your DM feels about it, which is much more of something you should know. Personally, I'll tell you what my DM feels about it, and kind of where I stand is quite similar. So you have 3 different things on one side and 3 on another. You have lawful, neutral, and chaotic. Yeah. Lawful, neutral, chaotic, and then you have good, neutral, evil. Alright? And so you have your lawful characters, essentially meaning people who follow the law. People who, do what the law says and obey the law, and, they're good, upstanding, well, not necessarily good, but they're at least upstanding citizens to some degree or another. Then you have your neutral characters, people who, they might think a bit more of the law serving its purpose, but don't necessarily feel you have to always follow it. And then you have more of the chaotic characters that, I'd say a chaotic character, although they realize law is there for a reason, they may not believe that it should apply to them, or they really believe that it's undermining people in general, and that really people should be ruled by their natural urges and things of that sort. So, a chaotic character more of is very selfish to some degree than a lawful character would be, I'd say. Because if you're lawful, you're going to in some way look out for other people, though there is a difference, because sometimes you'll end up in other worlds at different times, and this is just something that I'm mentioning right now, that you being lawful, in wherever you live, may be unlawful somewhere else. Perhaps murder and things are stuff you're supposed to do in one area of a D&D world, and that's what's considered lawful, where in others it's completely unlawful. So I do think it's very fluid with most things, and I think it needs to be taken into account by both the DM and the player depending on what you're doing. And then you have your good, neutral, and evil. And essentially, a good character is out to help everyone else. And they might help themselves, but they're there to help and aid others. So a lawful, good character, you have your paladin, the guy who's there to obey the law, to withhold the law, to make sure that everyone is saved, and everyone also is in the church. Everyone pays tithes. They're very this, symbol of upstanding citizen and things of that sort. So your good characters are going to help others. They're going to, yes, help themselves sometimes, but mainly try to aid others. And so if somebody says, goblins have taken my daughter captive, can you go help me? Yes, we shall slay those beasts. And, a good character is going to help somebody out. You've got your neutral characters where, neutral characters are a little more in for themselves, They'll, if they see somewhere where things will be good for them, they'll go with it. But, a neutral character could see that a situation's going south and they're going to run away. They're worried about dying. They're worried about stuff. And, they may realize, the Lich took your daughter captive, or the goblins took them captive. But those things, if I go try and run in there, they're going to murder me. I can't stand up to them. And then you've got the evil characters. And evil characters are completely out for themselves. Now, an evil character may work with a good or neutral character, but only in so much that it helps their own agenda. Excuse me. But, it's weird. So you've got, say, a lawful evil character. And a lawful evil character may obey the law, but he also may push agendas to his own benefit and to not benefit others. I guess a good version of a lawful evil character would be a politician. Or most of what we see is politicians. People who will take money and stuff. They'll uphold the law for sure, but they're not against taking a bribe or changing a law to make things go their way. A lawful evil character is going to do what's best for them, not what's best for others at all. If a lawful evil character sees a situation that's going to be going south in any way, he's not going to get near it with a 10-foot pole, or he may pretend to have saved the day to get a reward, or he may actually take over. As far as an evil character, may just take over the goblin horde and say, hey, I'm ruling you now, and we're going to free that girl, but after that we're going to go raid some villages and stuff. Evil characters are just out for themselves. And this is why it's important, along with other things having to do with alignment, such as paladins and certain classes, certain gods you worship and things of that sort in the game, that it's important you understand alignment, what your alignment is and what your alignment really is. Because I know plenty of people who've put down something like chaotic good or chaotic neutral or true neutral, which is one step from, true evil, I'd say. But they put that down, and then they just do act as if they're an evil character. But a true neutral character, or even chaotic neutral character, isn't going to do that. they're at some times going to worry about others, and then other times they'll do the chopping someone's hands off to get information. Now, if you're a neutral character or evil character and you've got a good character in the party, generally the chopping of the hands off and the flaying of the enemies isn't going to happen without at least some protest from a good character. A good character, especially if they're lawful good, is probably, when you're torturing someone, going to say, wait, we don't torture people. Alright? We don't do that to get information. We can cast a spell on them, we can do this and that, but we're not going to torture them. Alright? And I'm not even going to look a blind eye at this. We don't torture. We're either letting him free or we're killing him. So, you have to realize that there is a dynamic as well with what your character acts as, what he actually is. What's written down on your sheet isn't necessarily what he is, and I urge you to change what he is on the sheet if you change what your character is. But you need to know there's the dynamic of, I may have an evil character, and I may want to torture the guy. But if I torture the guy, the paladin's gonna smite my butt. And I don't want that. Or I might go, well, I can take the paladin. I'm evil. I'm stronger than him. I can take him out. So, yeah, you knock him unconscious and then you torture the guy. So, you have to realize that things are going to change in drama, and things are going to change based on what your character is and how he acts. You need to recognize what your alignment means and what kind of character you're playing so that what you've got written down matches what your alignment actually is. And like I said, I'm for alignment fluidity because characters don't stay the same in books and movies and TV shows. Someone may be slowly corrupted. Someone may come to good. Someone who once upheld the law may have seen the law be used for evil purposes and now be against it. And in those instances, you should change your alignment properly. You should not keep a rigid alignment system. But one of the best things to do is to talk to your DM about this if you're playing D&D, because different DMs have different ideas about alignment, and like I said, not everyone has the same agreement on even what certain alignments mean. But, you know, you can check it out. You can talk to your own DM if you're playing right now, when you start playing. You guys can talk it out, discuss it, and make an agreement on certain things even. And then hopefully you have a good time with it. If you decide for a very rigid system, I would definitely make sure you know you're in for that. But if you're for a fluid system like I am, I think you'll find it a lot better. Unless you're playing a character such as a paladin or something, that any character that has to be, say, lawful good or chaotic evil or something, and yet you don't quite want to be lawful good. You don't quite want to be chaotic evil. It can be very hard because of the constraints of things. But if you're playing, say, a paladin that normally has to be in several editions, in several editions has to be lawful good, you need to stick to that, unless you want to not be a paladin anymore and more just be a fighter. Unless you don't necessarily want to be a lich anymore, which for evil, which liches are evil. There's not really a good lich. I mean, it's part of the undead thing. So, I mean, the only way you'd kind of stop being an evil lich would be to be raised or to pass on. So, you know, just think about those things, consider them, talk to your DM about it, and I don't think there needs to be fights about alignment. I don't think there needs to be arguments really about it. I think you need to just come to an agreement. And if your lawful good character is going to do something and the evil character disagrees with it, you need to play it out. You need to do things that your character would do, and you need to realize that that drama is going to come if your characters aren't aligned the same, if things are different. It's just part of the game. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. I hope you go and see Matthew Koval's video about alignment, and I hope to have 2 more videos out this week. Last week I wasn't able to get stuff going due to technical issues, and the week before that I was at Austin, Texas for RTX. I also currently do not have my books with me because I lent them out to someone else to play while I was gone in Austin. So I need to get those back so I can use them as a guide to some degree while doing this. I'm hoping to do a little bit about working with your DM, as well as understanding the different types of DMs. And then I really think you guys should go and check out the different kind of players video that Matthew Koval has. But as always, thank you so much. Don't forget to like, comment, favorite, share, and subscribe. And to all you nerds out there, to all you gamers, and to all you geeks, keep doing what you do. D&D is amazing. This is Death's Crowbar, signing out.